All right, here's another video to kind of explain how to aim, how to compensate your aim when you use side spin, when you use English on the cue ball. So I've set up a half ball shot right here. Let's say this is a game of 8 ball. I have 2 stripes left. I don't have a shot at this one. I do have a shot at that one, but I need to get a shot on this one so I can get to the 8. This cue ball is, I just want to show something with this. So really the only open pocket I have is right there. What I've done is set up a half ball shot. These little donuts. I've done that so I can shoot this same shot 2 or 3 different ways to show you what needs to happen. So this is a half ball shot for fractional aimers. It means I'm aiming through the center of the cue ball to the edge of the object ball. So when the cue ball gets over here, this is a half ball relationship. I like to call it the cue ball object ball relationship needed to pocket the ball is right there. So now when I get over here and look at this, half the cue ball is overlapping half the 15 ball. The other half of the cue ball is out here in space. So that's a half ball shot. This is a half ball relationship. So no matter what I do on the cue ball end, left, right, top, draw, jump, whatever, the cue ball better end up right there at the half ball relationship, because that's what's needed to pocket this ball within a millimeter. I can be a little bit thick or a little bit thin, and it's going to catch this side of the pocket or that side of the pocket. If I'm any more than about 1.5 millimeters off, it's probably going to rattle, maybe 2 millimeters. But it's pretty small amount of area that I can't be off. I mean, it's not very tolerant in there. So this is the relationship. No matter what I do on this end, that's what I have to end up with. Well, it's pretty simple. If I just want to send the cue ball to that spot, like the ghost ball, all I have to do is stand behind the cue ball. I'm right behind the center of this cue ball. My right foot is on it. My right hand is on this line. My whole arm, my elbow, my shoulder, and I come down, I put my bridge on this line so that my cue and shaft is lined right on that line. Now all I have to do is stroke through the ball and I'm going to make it. Move this out of the way. So I'm just stroking through the center line of the cue ball, the vertical center, top, middle, or bottom, to this edge line of the 15. If I stun it, the cue ball slides into the 15 ball, then the 15 is going to catch right in there somewhere. It's not going to go. But if I roll it or use draw, I'm going to make the 15 by using this line that I'm standing on. I don't know if anybody's seen the Jason Shaw video where he's got a 9-foot table and he's got a ball in the pocket, cue ball's in this pocket, object ball's out here in the middle of the table, straight into the corner. And he gets his alignment first. He stands back here and he gets down, he gets this shot lined up like this. He gets the shot lined up. And what he's doing, he's getting his back foot, his grip hand, his elbow, his shoulder, his cue, his bridge hand, all in tune with the correct line that pockets the ball. Then, as he's down here like this, he raises all of this up in the air and then turns back here and looks at the wall or something, I don't know, and he keeps his head back there and then brings everything else back except for his head and fires the shot in, drills it, 90 miles an hour. It's a beautiful shot. My buddy Bert did it. Bert Hamilton Custom Cues. Way to go, Bert. I don't think I could do that. But my point is, he had everything online. Your body is like a machine. It is a machine. And this part of the machine is what it takes to play great pool. If your machine parts aren't lined up correctly, you're going to miss all kinds of shots. That's just all there is to it. So for the alignment for this shot, it's right here. I'm looking through the center line of the cue ball to the edge of the object ball. As long as my foot is on that, my hand is on that, this hand is on it, and my cue is on it, and my eyes are looking down this line, I'm thinking, well, everything feels like it's on that line. Yeah. And you miss it. Shouldn't have missed it. I should have maybe shut up and just shot the ball. But so we'll set the same shot back up just to show that it's a half ball shot This is the line. I'm coming down on this line. I'm just going to roll right through this. So these are, top pockets, but let's set another ball out. But now you can see, rolling through that's not going to give me a good shot on this ball. So I'm not going to hit it that way. I'm not going to roll the cue ball down into here. I could use draw, straight draw, use the same line. I'm standing on the same line again, the half ball aim line. I could use draw this time and draw the cue ball over to here and back across. To me, that's a little tricky, only because the 90-degree tangent line is about here. Which means cue ball is going to go straight to here. When I use draw, it's going to draw this way, and I'd like to catch right there. But I could overdraw it and scratch. Let's just shoot that, because it's the same aim line. I'm not changing my aim. This is still a half ball aim. Now I'm standing on the aim line. I'm going to come down into that aim line. Center, if I was just going to roll through it, it's right here. Just like that. I'm going to drop down. I'm using about a tip of draw. So that worked. Got a good shot on this ball. I can roll the cue ball up into here. Maybe just come off and bump the tube. I'm going to have a shot at this 8-ball. So I like that shot. And then all of that was just a half ball aim. Just like the first shot I missed. Now, if I wanted to use outside spin and just let the cue ball follow the tangent line to here, and then let the spin bring it back here instead of trying to draw it to this perfect spot, I can't use a half ball aim anymore, because so many things come into play when you start hitting off center on this cue ball. Let's say I'm right here. This is the half ball aim line. Now from here, if I use backhand English, which is moving my hand out like this, and then come through the left of the ball, my cue is pointed out here somewhere. For my stick, I know that's not going to work very well. Experience. That's the only way to really know where this cue ball is going to go. Because remember, it has to land on this half ball relationship. No matter what I do over here, the cue ball has to be right there within a millimeter or two. That's what makes this game so complicated. People talk like, oh, this game's so easy. Well, it's only easy once your mind starts realizing all of this stuff and you can put it all together. But this is where I'm standing for the half ball aim. If I wanted to use left hand English, I'm going to stand just a little bit more to this way. I'm coming through the left side of the ball, and my experience tells me I'm going to be aiming more like right here, which is a 3/8 on the object ball. For fractional people, this would be like a 3/8 aim point through the left side of the cue ball. That's going to get the cue ball at that where it needs to be. Just because I'm aiming at that 3/8 through the left side doesn't mean it's a 3/8 shot. It's still a half ball relationship just from looking at it. But in order to get the cue ball where it needs to be, I have to manipulate some things. When I hit the left side of this ball at the speed I'm going to hit it, when you hit the left side of a round object, it wants to go to the right. It's deflection. This is a low deflection shaft, and every shaft is going to be a little bit different. Carbon fiber people may not even have to worry about any of this stuff at all. I don't have a carbon fiber shaft, so I don't know. I've played with them. They don't play much different than this mez. But all I'm getting at is when you get down to shoot this shot, I know this is the line. Experience tells me that's the line. And I know if I'm going to shoot it firmer, if I want to shoot this really firm with some outside spin, some left, then my line's going to be even further out here. Because what's going to happen is the harder I hit this, the more the cue ball is going to want to deflect to the right. Well, if it deflects to the right, it's going to end up hitting this ball too thick. If I shoot it soft, I'm going to be aiming thicker on this object ball, because now it's going to want to deflect a little bit, but also my cue is slightly elevated. They're always slightly elevated. We can't help that. This ball is going to massate just a tiny bit. So when you shoot one soft, you have to aim them a little thicker with outside spin, because it's going to masse a little bit and end up being right there where it needs to be at the half ball relationship. But my aim, where I put my machine parts to make this with the outside spin, isn't on the half ball aim line. It's over here. I'm on a line that's through the left side of the ball. That's right there. My right hand side of my shaft is flush with the edge of the ball. From here, it looks more like this. It's right there. Straight left. Now if I shoot the same shot, not that we're going to shoot this with inside spin, but it's not going to get us anywhere, but just to show that I have to stand on a completely different line again. This is the half ball aim, straight through the center of the cue ball. I just showed if I shift my body a little bit this way and then bring everything down on this line through the left side of the ball, it's right there at the speed that I just had and with the deflection of my cue. That's what makes this game more complicated than people are willing to admit. You can't just say, well, I'm going to use one tip of left English. How much do I have to compensate on the object ball for that aim, or on the ghost ball? Do I aim at a quarter of a ball left or right? Or that depends on the deflection of your shaft and the speed that you're hitting the cue ball. So it's never a set amount, and it depends on the distance between the balls. So there's just so many variables that come into play that you just have to put in the table time and learn them for your specific cue and your specific stroke and the speed that you're using most of the time. And that's really good to try to get used to hitting everything at a good medium speed. It makes things more consistent. So then you can recognize the reactions that you need. So if I'm going to shoot this ball with the inside spin, the line, and at the same speed, the line would be here. Experience tells me it's going to be about right there. So now I'm aiming one tip through the right-hand side of the ball, one tip of right-hand spin inside, and it looks like my shaft is pointed almost at the center of that 13 ball. Now if I shoot it soft, I can maybe aim at about a 3/4 line in there somewhere, because the cue ball is going to mass. It's going to go this way a little bit and then masse back. You don't need to know what all it's doing. It's squirting and it's swerving and masse. You don't need to know all that stuff. You just need to know the cue ball needs to be right there, and you need to do whatever you have to do to make it get there. So it just takes practice. So I'm going to line this ball up now. My foot is on the back line. My hand is on this line. Everything, my whole machine body is lined up right there. And it looks like it's just a little bit left of the center of the 13 ball. And I'm going to put straight right hand spin on it from here and use the same speed that I just used on the other shot. And I missed it. Inside English took. So that was a bad guess. And really, it is a guess. That's what makes this game so complicated. That's why you don't see pros with balls out here in the middle of the table like this very often juicing the cue ball up with a lot of English. Because it's not 100%. Humidity, I mean, there's just so many different factors that affect how much this ball is going to swerve or squirt or masse or do whatever it's going to do, that it's just smarter to stick with the shots that you don't have to really use a lot of English on. But when you do have to use English, you have to realize you have to compensate for it. So what did I do there? Did that ball hit thick? I think it hit thick. I think I shot it thick, like into the rail right there, at the speed that I just hit. Now if I shoot it firmer, I can aim at the same place, because now it's going to deflect the cue ball more to the left, and I'll cut that ball just a little bit more. At the speed I just shot it, maybe I should have aimed over here for a 5/8 instead. So let me try that. I'm going to shoot it softer and aim through the right-hand side of the ball for a 5/8. Perfect. Well, not on this table, but it was much better. If I shoot it firm, I'm aiming straight through the right-hand side of the cue ball to the center of that ball and firm. So I know what the cue ball is going to do, but if your speed is off just a little bit, then it's guesswork. Because, I mean, I know how it's going to react at a certain speed. It's no different than having a ball down here that's setting like there, and you're setting, say, right there. This is a 5/8 shot for fractional people. I'm going to set up a half ball. Here we go. This is a dead half ball shot. Aim right at the edge of the ball and I'm going to make it. If I'm going to shoot this with inside English, left-hand English, to make the ball and bring the cue ball over to here, maybe to shoot this 7 ball in the side pocket next. When I do that, if I'm going to shoot it soft, I can actually aim right at the edge of that ball from this distance, because I know that the cue ball is going to squirt a little bit, but it's going to masse also, and it's going to end up being right there where it needs to be. If I shoot it soft, I can aim right at the edge of that 4 ball through the left side of this cue ball, just like that. I can shoot it to get up there. If I wanted to get up there, I couldn't hit it that soft. I can't. But I can get up here for the 7 ball, but now I'm going to have to shoot this a little firmer. So I can't aim at the edge anymore. I'm going to aim at the same place on the cue ball, 1 tip to the left. But now, since I'm going to shoot it just a little bit firmer, I'm going to have to aim this a little bit thicker, because the firmness is going to make the cue ball squirt that way. And if I aim at the edge, I'm going to overcut it. So now I'm going to aim at a 5/8 and shoot it just a little firmer with straight left. And it's just something that you have to practice. You have to set these little shots up. Little shots like this come up all the time, and people miss them when they apply English to them. The ball is so close to the pocket, you could be off by 2 or 3 millimeters over here, 3 or 4 millimeters, and still make it. But we miss balls like this all the time, because the shot will come up like this, and someone will think, well, this is the line to make this ball. It's right here. I'm right on the line. And then they'll put all this outside spin on it, keeping their back foot on that line, on the original line, and everything's on that original line, but they shifted part of their mechanisms, part of their machine body over this way, and it's just not, it's not consistent. So if you're going to shoot it straight like this, then I'm on the right line. If I'm going to shoot this ball soft and use outside English, then I'm going to be on this line, just a tiny bit to the right. So I'm coming through the right-hand side of the ball, and I'm still aiming at about the edge at the speed I'm going to use. Really soft, and it spins the ball. If I shoot that same line firm, so I'm sitting here, and I was coming through the right side of the ball to the edge of the 5 ball, which is right here. Everything's on that line. My whole machine is lined up perfect. Now if I shoot it firm from here, not soft, firm, the cue ball is going to hit about right there, and I'm going to drive this 5 ball straight into the rail. Because when I shoot it firm from here, this is the line right there. If I shoot it firm, cue ball is going to squirt to the left, and it's not going to have enough time to swerve or masse back to cut the 5 where it needs to go. It's just not going to work. If I had more distance, maybe, but from here, that tells me then if I'm going to shoot this ball soft, I can line it, I can shoot it just like I did. If I'm going to shoot it firm, I have to account for the fact that hitting the left side of the ball is going to make it go. I mean, hitting the right side of the ball is going to make it go to the left. So I need to stand over here and aim over here somewhere. So if I'm shooting this ball firm, I need to kind of overcut it. Just have to pay attention to that. And eventually you'll start figuring it out based on your cue and the speed that you typically shoot most shots with. That's why I tell people a lot of times when you have a shot that looks like this and you're going to use outside English, aim it thick. That's using a normal medium speed. If I just get up to shoot this shot, right there, that's a half ball. If I get up to shoot this shot, and I know I'm using outside spin, I'm aiming from the outside to the edge of that ball, just about. And that line, it makes me look thick because I'm like this, and it looks like I'm going to hit the cue ball, and the 7 ball is going to hit the rail right there. But it's not going to, because I know the cue ball is going to massate just enough, and I'm going to get just enough action and deflection to make it work just right. If I step up and shoot this shot, it looks a tiny bit thick, but I know it works. If I use the inside spin, it's the same thing. It looks a little bit thick, but at that same speed, it works. And it just takes getting on a table and shooting, set the same shot up. Use little donuts like this, or lick your finger and make a little spot on the cloth for the cue ball and the object ball. Set the shot up. Set a shot up like this. Shoot it center ball, just like this, rolling, and pocket the ball. Put them in exactly the same place. Use right hand English and see where you have to aim on that object ball to make it go. At 3 different speeds. At this speed. Alright? Nice and soft. I hit that ball pretty thick looking. In my mind it looked thick. So you got that speed. And then this is going to be like a more of a medium speed. And I'm standing on a different line on each one of these. It's not the same aim. They're all different. And my body is on the different line every time. So my stroke is consistent. So from here, if I'm going to hit just a little thicker, a little bit firmer on a medium speed, like that. And if I'm going to shoot it firm, medium firm, to go all the way around and up there somewhere, then when I line this ball up, I'm even coming more around this way because it looks like I'm going to be slightly overcutting it. But I know that this cue ball is going to go that way some because I'm hitting it firm. So it's going to work. It's going to be like here. So set those shots up and just shoot them and experiment with them. That's the only way to really learn how to do it. People think that when you apply one tip of English, you can offset your aim by a quarter of a ball or a half a ball. And you can do that, and you can train your brain to do that, but you have to use a consistent speed. And this game, you can use a good consistent speed, but sometimes you have to shoot a ball firm, sometimes you have to shoot a ball soft, and you have to know what the cue ball is going to do when you do that. So it's good to learn the extremities, the firm and the soft, and then the in-betweens. And you train your mind to recognize that stuff. That's how it works.